2016 here at City Hall in Lethbridge, Alberta, between 1 and 3 p.m. I'm hoping to get a big group. Maybe we can take a stand on the homeless problem here in our city. I experienced it for 15 years, being a youth when I was chased out of my home as I was living with my parents. I was 16 years old. I finally had enough. Told my counselor about the abuse that was happening at home, physically and mentally. My father, I was chased out of the house. My father, God rest his soul, he's passed away now. But I lived in Vancouver. Shelters, lived in cardboard boxes, and I was eating out of garbage cans too. And it wasn't that great of an experience. It was pretty hard with certain situations because of a young age. And I had been robbed, beaten, urinated on, and almost set on fire. But today I'm doing okay. Being out of the local shelter here in Lethbridge, Alberta, I now have a home and food to put in my stomach. It hurts me to see people living on the street and left hungry. We need to take a stand and put our feet down and say enough is enough. People are out there dying due to not having proper necessities of life left because of hunger. We need to speak out and tell our government quit spending money on useless things that aren't a high priority. Concentrate on the homeless. What does homeless mean? Who is homeless? What are the consequences of homelessness? You do not have to be sleeping on the streets to be considered homeless. Even if you have accommodations that you're legally allowed to live in, it may not be reasonable for you to stay there. We live in a selfish world based on money. No money, no housing. We also live in a world that demands certain experience for jobs, and even if I tell people I can learn the job, they don't want to hire me. I'm about your age, in the early 40s, for most people, but a lot of people that are homeless are in between 16 to 45, 50, plus also children. It cannot be, if we don't stand on our feet, make a stand for the homeless, what can we do? Poverty and homelessness do tend to exist now much faster than you realize. Both physically and mentally are what affects a lot of people. True human kindness and compassion are part of what someone could be and would help others. People experience homelessness, face violations of a wide range of human rights. A person who is homeless may be facing violations of the right of education, the right to liberty and security of that person, the right to privacy, the right to freedom and discrimination, the right to vote, and many other rights. Everyone has a right to respect and safety regardless of their race, ethnicity, religion, gender, sexual orientation, disability, or age. Violence, harassment, and bullying are violations of this human right. People who are homeless experience higher rates of violent victimization than the general population. Violence, harassment, and bullying are significant violations of the right of every person of life, liberty, and security. And the person, it is vital that people experience homelessness are provided with adequate support to protect against violations. Now, the right to security and safety. There are many different causes of homelessness. to the buildings and whatever to get in there to deal so that I was out on the street dying and homeless. But I mean, a lot of people don't realize what homelessness is in this city or in this country. We really need to take a stand. The government spends $1.6 billion on homelessness every year. And we need to really make a stand, because if we end homelessness in this country and also in this city, then we can stop our spending on unnecessities of life. If we use that $1.6 billion on building homes for the homeless and for low income, then we can actually have a life that we want to live, where we're not starving, or we're not freezing to death, or we're not dying. Research has shown that people who have become homeless may have experienced high rates of child abuse, sexual abuse, emotional, and physical. The most common reason people give for seeking assistance from government-funded homeless services is domestic or family abuse. We all deal with it every day. You see young people out there, they may be on the streets, they may be at home, but they don't want to stay home because of the physical and sexual and mental abuse that they're dealing with from their parents or others. I personally myself have experienced all types of abuse: physical, mental, and sexual abuse. The physical and mental was from my father, God rest his soul. I was beaten a lot, and I just can't understand, why, 30 years ago, why the government wasn't stepping in like we do today. Because if something happens in the home, the child is scared, or they're saying that they're being abused, the government can be there and step in right now and take them out of the home. Whereas you look at the shelters nowadays where people are staying, it's hard because so many people are used to it. They don't know, what it is and what type of situations where it's good for them to get out and actually get a home. The price of homing, the price of rentals nowadays ranges from $700 to $1,600 a month for a single person. Whereas if you get a 3-bedroom, it's like 12 to 14. So if you get a couple of friends, trustworthy friends, then you can rent that place. And then also you have to pay utilities at some of these places, which can range from $200, $500, $600, depends how much utilities you use every month. And the thing is, it's hard for a lot of people, especially